Hey, welcome back everyone. It is now the beginning of September of 2022, which means we're only getting closer to other Star Wars shows out there, like Star Wars Andor, The Bad Batch Season 2, as well as, let's not forget about the fact that we have Tales of the Jedi on the horizon as well. And given that we have a lot of live-action material starting in 2023, that's really going to kickstart this new Star Wars universe by Jon and Dave. This is Mike Zero. Make sure to subscribe if you are new to the channel for future Star Wars updates. Also, by the way guys, make sure to drop a thumbs up on this video to support the channel. I thank you all so very much for the kind support. It is greatly appreciated. Now, one thing about the new Star Wars universe is that a lot of fans around the globe have been very much invested in what they are currently crafting, given that Jon and Dave have this big plan in sight. They have a lot of ideas that they are currently taking from Star Wars Legends and throwing it into the Disney canon and making sure that they're going to try to make this as accurate as possible to pretty much every single fan out there that has followed this from the 1990s into the early 2000s. Now, with that being said, what's even all the more exciting is the fact that there is a lot of development going on over at Lucasfilm, a lot of changes being made by Bob Chapek, the Disney CEO. Basically, Lucasfilm is getting a major makeover by Jon and Dave. Given that they got these promotions, it gives them a lot of creative power now, and of course power in other angles of the company within Lucasfilm. So there's a lot of things happening between the Star Wars franchise and the creators, etc., etc. And that brings us to where we are now. So what's even all the more exciting about all of this is exactly what's been going on with, of course, Jon Favreau and Dave Filoni on how they are writing Mando 4 as we speak. They're already getting into the very, early stages of that, getting the script prepared and getting ready for production sometime next year. However, with both Disney and Lucasfilm now getting ready to develop a series of new shows that will be announced at Celebration next year, creators Jon Favreau and Dave Filoni are beginning to also get involved with some of the future Star Wars films as well. Now, it's described that behind the scenes, Lucasfilm's Kathleen Kennedy has been very frustrated with Disney as of late, and is already moving along with her plans to quit prematurely before she gets fired, in which Disney executives plan to do sometime next year before her contract ends in 2024. Now, as of now, Kathleen's planned to leave Lucasfilm before Disney fires her to start up her new production company that is currently dubbed simply as Starlight Productions, that will focus on a host of sci-fi movies and TV shows that will hire many current and/or ex-Lucasfilm employees that believe in Kathleen Kennedy's vision. This is said to be Kathleen's way to keep her legacy alive and well, since Favreau and Filoni are beginning to take over Lucasfilm, with her, of course, with their most recent promotions allowing them to call the shots of many of the new Star Wars TV shows. Now further, Kathleen Kennedy has already approached writer Leslie Headland to join her company and other creatives that have been working on the 4 episodes of The Acolyte. This new production has been in the early stages for a couple of years now, and Kennedy is looking to get it up and running by 2025 sometime. Now, I want to pause here quick for a second before I get to the next major detail about this, is that we talked about this new production company that Kathleen Kennedy was crafting a couple of months ago, and how she is trying to create her own genre of science fiction. We all know that George Lucas had his own take on his genre of science fiction. He calls it a soap opera in space, basically, a space opera as he likes to call it. That's basically what Star Wars is, and currently, really is beginning to actually take advantage of more so now. And I like that. I really do like that when it comes to the films. So, for Kathleen Kennedy to create her own genre of sci-fi movies, it's going to be a very tough process for her, because I don't really think you can create anything that's going to be enjoyable by Kathleen Kennedy. I think that she's kind of over her head, but you know what? Good for her if she's going to make her own company, because I don't think a lot of people are going to follow through and decide to actually take the time to watch her material. Now, as we talked about this before, the main reason as to why she is leaving has a lot to do with the creative power that she lost, and we'll talk about that more in a second or two, because this is creating a lot of pressure on Kathleen Kennedy. As you all know, it's becoming more and more clear that to Kathleen Kennedy, becoming president of Lucasfilm was never really about treating the Star Wars fans. It really came off like her creating her own agenda and using the Star Wars label to push that into, of course, the fans' eyes. And that's why there's a lot of rejection, a lot of fan criticism, and a lot of backlash. And she goes on and on to blame it on the fans and not the creators per se. So, moving forward from all of this, this is where things begin to pick up as well, is that, with that being said, okay, so this new production has been in the early stages, like I say, for a couple of years now. They plan on actually finishing it off by 2025, but the main reason why Kennedy started up this company back in 2020 is when it started. Of course, it had a lot to do with the fact that she lost a lot of creative power from all of the Star Wars TV shows for the most part. Now, given that Kathleen Kennedy is also going to be using her company to create competition against other sci-fi genres like Star Trek and others that already exist to an extent, Kennedy is described to have a vision for her company to create a new subgenre of science fiction that she believes will be revolutionary to the film industry and television. Both Favreau and Filoni are still in power of 5 episodes of The Acolyte, which gives Kennedy even all the more reason to want to leave. Now, we talked about this briefly also about last week, that she has been trying to get Rian Johnson to come on board of The Acolyte as one of the directors for maybe an episode, maybe 2 max, and even that, I think, would create a lot of, problems from the fans. Because a lot of fans just did not accept Rian Johnson's take on The Last Jedi, myself included. I thought it was a very disjointed movie, to say the least. But moving forward from all of this, the fact that we have John and Dave, taking advantage of their big-time promotions that they got a couple of weeks ago, basically a month ago at this point, it allows them to do as they please with the new Star Wars universe for the most part. They took over just about half of The Acolyte. They're in control of 5 episodes out of the 9 episodes. So they pretty much have, over half, pretty much, just about, for the Acolyte series. So, on top of that, too, we also have a lot of things happening with all of the new creators coming on board. So John and Dave have a lot of creative power and other types of power that allows them to hire who they want to for many of the new Star Wars shows. So keep that in mind as well, is that they're going to be able to do the hiring of actors and actresses and other creators like writers and directors coming on board, producers, you name it. They have a lot of control now, and they're basically acting like a president of the company without having that title, per se. So that brings us to where we are now, right? The biggest question of all is Kathleen Kennedy going to finish her company up before Disney gets to her and fires her first? Or is it going to be vice versa? That really does open up a lot of questions, and it really makes one wonder, exactly what the situation is going to end up being. So, with that being said, guys, let me know what you all have to say about this below in the comments, and if you guys did enjoy the content for today, make sure to drop a thumbs up on this video to support the channel, and thank you all so very much for the kind support, and I'll catch you guys next time.